Hello, everyone. Hi. So I'm Prashant. Thank you for joining our today's webinar. Great. So we have Alexandra here today, joining from St. Petersburg on this beautiful morning. So thank you so much, Alexandra, for joining in today. It's really our pleasure to have you. So we're going to just begin in like a minute or so. So I'm going to just give a quick introduction about yourself. So, Alexandra is CEO and founder of EAG Tech Talents. So, they are in Hong Kong and Russia based company which helps people to find opportunities primarily in the fintech domain. And she's also one of the members of the Chambers of Hong Kong FinTech and Blockchain Association, and been working in this space for a long, long time. So she has helped several organizations, primarily financial institutions, in hiring right skill set for their, like technological developments and advancements. So thank you so much, Alexandra. Would you like to quickly, kind of introduce yourself, to our viewers?
Sure. Thank you so much, Prashant, for inviting me to speak today. My name is Alexandra. Yes, I'm a founder of EAG Tech Talents in Power Access Group. So we're working in Hong Kong, recruiting for global companies and startups in fintech space mostly. So I'm originally from Russia and I've been working in Hong Kong for over 15 years in recruitment and HR. And today I'm very excited to be guest at this webinar and share any market insight and my experience and connect with you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Alexandra. And I'm Prashant, your host. So I'm one of the co-founders of Snapper Future Tech and Indian Blockchain Institute. I have been in the blockchain space for like over 4 or 5 years now, and I have been one of the youngest entrepreneurs. Started my company early, and I contribute a lot to the space. So if you guys have really cool idea which you really want to discuss or talk about, you could reach out to like Alexandra on LinkedIn. You can just search for her, and you could also just reach me out. Great. So here's our today's agenda. So since we understand that we have like very kind of diversified audience here, like a lot of students who would possibly want to start their career in the blockchain, or enterprises and working professionals who would really kind of know about or curious to know how they could possibly build a career in the blockchain industry. So we're going to start with the quick industry overview, followed by why blockchain is being the top skill in demand, a few career opportunities, both like for everyone from diversified industries, followed by Q&A, and then some concluding remarks. So meanwhile, guys, if you have any questions or something, you could just post it on a chat, and Nishad just, take it up at the end, or probably you could just raise your hand during our Q&A session, and we would be glad to answer. All right. So thank you so much. And before we begin, I would just like to give you a quick overview about the blockchain industry, right? So from 2018, like when there was a huge hype in the industry in 2017, and then there was a burst cycle, right? Like, and then blockchain was one of the top skills, not primarily because on the enterprise side of things, but it started to attract a lot of attention on the cryptocurrency front, and also big enterprises looking forward to move into the blockchain space, and there has been tremendous growth. But a lot of you might have thought about that. Okay, now we are out of that boom burst cycle, and then here we go, fast forward to 2020, how the market's been, right? So even in 2019, there was like an exponential growth of 33% from 2018, and it clearly showed that, like the enterprise blockchain adoption has been, on the very significant uptrend, and then there has been a very, very high demand for people who really want to get into the space. And then in 2020, blockchain has been still, like one of the most top rated skills as per LinkedIn job reports. So, Alexandra, would you like to, I think you have been primarily at the epicenter of these things, and you have seen like Hong Kong, which has been like one of the biggest fintech markets, like it's like the fintech hub of Asia and the world. So, how's been, this big banks and institutions and also the government been looking at the blockchain industry and skill, like after the COVID, since we are in the COVID situation, are there any signs of a slowdown, or the industry is still moving ahead?
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much for your presentation and for your question. Yeah, Hong Kong are really been a hub for all the crypto activities for and place for to find investors to raise capital, and there is a booming fintech scene. So the startups number grew exponentially. So we have a very big ecosystem of startups in fintech and crypto space companies, exchanges like OKX and others, right? The ones that you know as well. And companies are hiring at the moment. And also the Bitcoin price, I think, has been rising. And companies are hiring right now, especially engineers and traders and marketing, community managers. So there are opportunities for different skill set. It doesn't have to be super technical per se. And of course, Hong Kong being an international city with very established Western style business community is still being like that, despite all the protests and the new law and obviously the COVID. And now everyone's being on the third wave of lockdown, but companies are still hiring because Hong Kong is still the gateway to China, and big four firms, like you mentioned, the PwCs and financial companies, they're still hiring because they still want to work with China, obviously. So there is still hiring. Maybe is not as fast as it used to be, perhaps it's a bit slower, but I think there are additional advantages that everything is now, interviews are possible online. And that's what I tell to my clients, that, it is an opportunity. If there are any expats, Western expats that are leaving Hong Kong, that now is opportunity for maybe, for us, from people from sort of more Eastern part of the world to apply for these jobs and bring this international experience. And so I just really want to encourage everyone to see from what is the opportunity. And so companies, of course, yes, like the tech talents, that's the key thing. And I think it's the strong reputation for Indian talent being really strong technically and having great communication skills, because that's the second part at what companies are looking for. The communication, the personality, the ability to connect with people globally. That's another thing that HR managers and directors of companies are looking for in Hong Kong. Just, I guess, as well as like in other cities, like be it Moscow or New York, right? So it's all pretty much the same. So yeah, I guess my point is that Hong Kong is still international hub, international finance hub, even if now it will be connected to Shenzhen, Hong Kong, and the whole Pearl River Delta cities. The Hong Kong still will be the hub for finance market and international talent.
Right. Wonderful. So, apart from that, like what you mentioned, Alexandra, what do you think being at a very global level? I think, blockchain obviously extends a very lot from, cryptocurrencies and fintech applications to a lot of other areas as well, like supply chain, right? Like the Hong Kong is like one of the biggest trade ports in the world, and it's a trading hub, I would say. Right? I mean, anything which has to go or shipped from east to the west, like primarily goes to Hong Kong. And blockchain is, I think that's the reality which we all should, accept it. And then, the blockchain has several tremendous applications on the supply chain side of things. So how is the industry there? I think after the COVID, and then, there's going to be a lot of action because, people's health, people's data, even like like in healthcare data, your medicine records is like become more and more valuable because now every country would like to secure their citizens record, and then primarily also provide a way where people could just communicate and like move effectively and freely. So even Indian Prime Minister insisted upon the use of blockchain technology after Xi Jinping's like major presidents like even Vladimir Putin by himself, right? So what do you think on even on that perspective, right? For a lot of people who have a decent industry experience and want to get into the supply chain side of things, are there opportunities available? If so, what it is like?
Right. Yeah, that's a great point that you mentioned that Hong Kong is being, the supply chain hub in Asia as well. And especially after the COVID, it's just digitalize or die, right? That's the motto for all the fashion companies and trading companies that deal with hard goods as well. And definitely the industry is transforming, now have to transform a lot faster. For the blockchain, I believe it's still, all the big companies are yet to be founded. So now there is opportunity to start working on these projects. There are smaller companies in the space or departments within big companies that starting to look at what is the pioneering technology to improve the supply chain. And but right now the stage, I guess, is supply chain is always sort of a bit behind than financial industry. So right now, the most actively hiring are like e-commerce, still around e-commerce or the digital design. But I think, there will be more and more opportunities in the blockchain, like in Europe, for example, in Italy, right? There are companies that focusing on luxury goods authentication, and they are looking for marketing people, for example, marketing managers to go and approach the brands and share about the opportunity and also have the technical ability to make it happen. So there are opportunities in startup space, but I guess being from Asia and having this, understanding of how the goods go from manufacturing floor to retailer is really most important and advantageous in this situation, to bring this experience and to work on these problems in supply chain. In terms of any big players, we have obviously, like you mentioned, that retailers are starting working on that. Yeah, like big retailers like Walmart's and other US retail chains, they started actually working on their coins. So who knows, maybe it will come to Asia very soon as well. And definitely when I was attending conferences in supply chain in Europe and the US, there is a lot of conversation about blockchain. And there are consulting firms or startups that want to improve the industry, and big companies will pick up at some point, I'm sure.
So basically, the point or the whole idea, you were like one of the reasons why blockchain is like being talked about so much is effectively it's the new internet of value. It's forming the data economy which every businesses actually need as a part of their day-to-day activities. Like business needs contracts, business needs supply chains, business needs effective management, contribution, execution of the contracts, and also flow of transparent form of information or money across their ecosystem. And blockchain is effectively impacting all of their business processes in a big way, because it's trying to form like one of these universal kind of data infrastructure technologies which will like kind of form backbone for AI and IoT. So what are your thoughts like around some of these reasons and the way, blockchain is like impacting almost everything. Like, we're going to go more global with, again, one of the reasons being like highest digital identity, right? And specifically in the fintech space, right? Digital identities is something which has been like talked about a lot time, and we still follow these old traditional processes and also exposed to a lot of these privacy breaches by this big corporations. So how's kind of like blockchain impacting this industry in a big way, right? Like Hong Kong being one of the reasons for this, one of the biggest markets for the fintech industry, and blockchain could perhaps add a huge value in more data security and digital identity stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Hong Kong is in the middle of everything, and there are opportunities within crypto space because there are a few exchanges, and also in the money transfer industry, the currency transferring industry, because right now, like you said, the supply chain industry being, driver for e-commerce, that there is a lot of goods moving from east to west, and there are opportunities in that space too. Also, corporates looking at other creative ways to adopt the technology, and also the big four, they looking for experts in the industry to be able to consult their clients on this new technology. So from recruiter perspective, I see the opportunity, and I know for sure that the market is hiring from the startups to corporates to exchanges. They're looking for specialists in this area because perfect. This slide is really perfect. Like how from everything from the cryptocurrency to payments to KYC and manufacturing as well. So I'm sure, and Hong Kong also being really a city of entrepreneurs, they're really quite open to people who have value-add idea to bring either to corporate or to founders of startups, and really, bring this knowledge of the technology and combining with the ability to find solutions to problem. Especially now, I think it's perfect time as COVID really made every company to go digital. Is perfect opportunity to start approaching those companies and seeing what can be done. And in Hong Kong, they are really open to everything. They're more open-minded than, I guess, Singapore companies. I cannot compare really, but definitely Hong Kong companies are much more open to any ideas.
Right. I think that's really cool. And I think also throwing some perspective on the startup side of things, like, it's impacting a way how even, banks or like central banks and the governments are going to issue money. So there have been a lot of these news where countries across the globe are issuing their own digital currencies or cryptocurrencies using the blockchain, primarily central bank digital currencies. And it has created a space for a lot of these valuable enterprise blockchain startups, and we have been seeing a lot of new fundings also been coming in, a lot of grants, and then World Bank. I think everybody's actually kind of like started to support the enterprise application of even cryptocurrencies, if people would, or some of the aspirations aspirants would just want to go out and start their own company and go global. And then a lot of things, even on the Indian side of it, right? All the big ID consulting companies, like they have also started to hire. Like there was an announcement recently where TCS has been also issuing their own trading platform called Quartz, for institutional clients, for enable them to trade and safely hold their like assets or the digital assets. So I think that's like really, really, wonderful news for people who are passionate about more like on the enterprise and cryptocurrency side of things. And since the blockchain as a technology is something which is impacting our money in a big way, it is also like creating an economy of data like in a lot of ways. So as per various sources, like as you could see in this slide, like as per Gartner, IDC, and World Economic Forum, like a lot of countries going to store their GDP and wealth, on the blockchain technology like pretty soon. And primarily banking, or we're going to see an age where a lot of these banks or the existing infrastructure is kind of like being disrupted in a big way. And though like recently we have been with in a cold war with India, China, or something like that, but we have to really understand that still the global markets and the global opportunities going to exist for right talents, and since it's being like adopted by everyone globally. So I think there's also a lot of scope for people who would want to like learn the technology and then probably apply on some kind of special talent visas or something like that, right? Because it's been a lot of issue because US been not encouraging people, primarily Asians and other people around the world to actually get jobs and settle down. So I think countries in the east like Hong Kong, probably Singapore, and Taiwan, Vietnam could be one of the biggest centers. So what are your thoughts around that? So how is it like for an Indian or any outsider in Hong Kong for them to actually settle down or even to set a company there?
Right. So yeah, I just want to say such a great presentation, because really, yeah, they're going to be big companies at some point, but right now I think it's and all those big companies, they will be looking for people with the experience. So now is the time to join any startup or start your own product, or work in consultancy, right? To gain the experience. By the time that banks will really fully adopt that technology, there will be actual, really, they say this cushy jobs in a bank or something like that. But right now, absolutely, like I think what I guess I'm trying to say that, yes, companies are hiring, and with the political situation now being that all the countries looking inwards, and US being a bit separate, I guess our Eurasian continent is the market, and it's like 60% of the population anyway, right? So there are opportunities from Europe to Asia, and if you have this experience in Asia and Europe, being bridging these cultures, I think, and having technical experience, then you can apply for these jobs and see what will happen. Either it will be maybe remote job opportunities, or then with time, can be a possibility for the global mobility. I think everything is possible. And it's just, yeah, the US, I guess, being a bit separate market at the moment. If that was the question, I just want to clarify that I'm speaking into the right question.
Yeah, absolutely. Because actually, recently there's been a question from few people who are coming from the business side of it, and also few upcoming professionals who would really probably look at pursuing freelancing, or someone coming from business ground and looking forward for a career shift in the same domain like consulting and things like that. So I think the point which you added here, that like there's several opportunities for even new aspirants who just want to learn and then probably do remote work in a startup or on a freelancing basis, probably advising them on some of their projects, or doing some kind of market research, consulting, and then also several things on the technical side as well, like building their products, advising them, and so on. So there are like opportunities for people coming from like technical background, non-technical background, business, startups, and everything. And most importantly, I think because of this COVID, a lot of things are also going to go remote, and probably the chances are with the right talent, I think the outsourcing is also going to increase to a lot of extent, right? Because a lot of young companies or people, they would possibly would like to outsource, probably to optimize their costs, or to probably find more talent in the global markets, right? So I think your points was like very, very, well taken, and thank you so much for that. Great. And also, Alexander mentioned that the entire global ecosystem in the blockchain space been like also growing for like long time, and also there's been also an exponential growth because you have big consulting companies, providers, and also some of the startups. Even Snapper is there, who's like still like hiring great talents, and we have also one of our aspirants like Sangram, who has been a professional in the supply chain and been working for a long time. He's our just like alumni, and probably he could also share his experience and answer some of the doubts and talk about his experience. And obviously there are big companies like Microsoft, IBM's Consensus, and other big consulting for also hiring as well. Great. So now moving on to career opportunities, which has been like really important because people's been asking what are the technology options available, and about the profession. So I would just like to touch up on these points, a few from IBI perspective. So there are like a couple of kinds of technologies as we have been talking about. So one is like the enterprise kind of technology, which is a permission blockchain. And then they have a public blockchain, a permissionless blockchain, something like Ethereum or a Bitcoin blockchain. The key difference between an enterprise world and a crypto world is that people or the big companies would always like to be in control of their information because they have a lot of business secrets, which is their right to protect it, and also a lot of confidential data. Whereas on the public side of things, it is more kind of a decentralized kind of economy where things has to be moved towards more in open source. And also we are seeing a lot of young startups growing pretty fast, like Ethereum, Chainlink, Tron, and most of these companies are like I mean, Asia is being like one of the biggest hubs or epicenter of innovation in this industry. And if you're a bit a profession, or you're like looking forward to shift from in your career space, you could pick up right technology. So if your inspiration is basically to get a job in the enterprise side of it, most recommended technology expertise is like Hyperledger and Ethereum, because it's very important for a blockchain professional to kind of know about what are both of these technologies, its pros and cons, and how it works, and what are the right areas and the use cases people should look at. So if you're coming from business background, you're a graduate or undergraduate, or even in your engineering or wherever you are, that's a very basic step if you want to really know about blockchain, to kind of know how this technology works, or is the key differences and its use cases, right? So we cover all of that in this kind of a course. So the whole idea with IBI and with this thing is that to identify the right career space where based on your aspiration, and turn yourself into a profession. And then if you have been experienced and you have been working in the enterprise space on the technical side for like almost 8-10 years, you could possibly look at blockchain architect, because architects are responsible for primarily for creating the infrastructure of big use cases. So architects and business analysts or consultants work close hand in hand to define the business process in technical world, and to go with the right kind of infrastructure, right? So an architect is very crucial for designing any enterprise technology, but of course you need to have a good or decent experience understanding the processes and the outcomes. And then a blockchain developer. So a blockchain developer could start their career as soon as they get into basics of programming language. So you could either go with Hyperledger or Ethereum. Hyperledger is being most preferred by enterprises on a lot of front, and also you could switch towards an administrator if you really want to get on the infrastructure side of it. So in both of these programs, we actually cover like in depth on how You could possibly like develop and deploy your own applications through our IBI virtual cloud kind of a setup, and drive you through all practicals and hands-on with Kubernetes, Dockers, smart contracts, Golang, Solidity, and things like that into this course, because these are really practical and technically focused course. And of course, on the business side, you have more opportunities on a blockchain recruiter and project managers as well. So there's an opportunity for everyone at all the levels. It's just that you have to really decide on what kind of technology or what kind of a career path you are looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to add to that, Prashant, if that's all right. First
Absolutely.
of all, yes, you're absolutely right. First, decide which companies do you want to work for, right? Whether it is enterprise or private. Then find what kind of technology are they using and see what you want to learn to get to these jobs. And then when you're learning this technology, then you can get these jobs. And also, and see how much time do you have. I guess that would depend. What is your personal situation right now, whether you're able to invest in yourself now and really pick a career as your like path and as your or do you need a job right now to make to have income? If that's the case, I guess going into jobs like that was on your previous slide about blockchain recruiter or blockchain administrator, you can use your transferable skills and spend 2 months to find a job, and or you have the resources and you have time to invest in yourself and become a blockchain developer and then get a job. So it also depends like what's your personal situation right now, then decide what will be your strategy to solve this problem. Or perhaps you really want to change the path, right? You're a business professional and you want to become somebody else and see if you want to get all the skills first and see what technology you need to brush up on and then apply for jobs. That's all what I want to add. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alexandra. So there has been like some quick questions from our viewers. So one of the first question is that what is the kind of skill sets which is like kind of expected from freshers when he's applying, and how what could basically apply for the right job?
Yeah, first of all, companies are looking for relevant work experience. And second of all, for communication skills, for ability, to communicate. And that's what they screen at the first interview. And what can I add to that? Yeah, that's just two things that companies are looking for. And of course, yeah, I guess if you don't have the relevant blockchain experience yet, it's good to apply for more open-minded companies like startups or consultancies and gain some relevant experience first, and then apply to big companies, big corporates like Equinix or any of the big companies, right? So smaller companies would always be more open-minded and give you the chance to get the training in the job.
Yeah, I think because that's really very important, because we have a lot of people who are undergraduating, and the COVID has impacted a lot of their careers. Like if you just try to understand the landscape of India, only very few percentage of the population have access to tier one and tier two institutions, and most of the population where they have access to lower tier institutions and colleges, it's like really very important for them to get technically skill, and then really prove themselves in order to find a right organization or a corporate, or perhaps land opportunity of their dreams.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a really, really good point, and it would obviously help a lot of people also to kind of look forward in upskilling and working, just trying to just get some works on that. So I would just like to throw some light on that perspective. So to address those kinds of challenges, if you go to a like website, indianblockchaininstitute.com. We have launched like a blockchain kind of a developer and internship program. So in this kind of a course, what we do is that all the talents who really want to join or want to learn blockchain, we train them, develop them, and get them the right internship to work across and develop their skill sets and get to an experience level to decide whether how they want to move along from here. So you could just connect up with Nishad or our team, or drop in your details on our website, indianblockchaininstitute.com, and one of our counselors will reach out to you to clarify your further doubts and queries on a one-on-one basis. Great.
Yeah. Having the right keywords on your resume after you get a course, and you have the blockchain as the skill set on your resume, that already would be something that would get you through the screening process, if as opposed to not having any blockchain on your CV. If you have a blockchain as a keyword on your CV and on your LinkedIn profile, you will be already, in the radars of recruiters that are looking for talents, because it's a very, very new technology. So it's very rare that people have the direct experience, right? And when they do, they're not really looking for a job. So having the blockchain as a keyword and attending, the courses, that definitely that's the right way to do it.
Great. So, okay, and I would also leave the floor to possibly Sangram. So he's one of our alumni, and like how we described, like everyone, he also started or switched his career from his traditional day-to-day job. He was a supply chain professional, and now he has pursued blockchain and kind of specializing on the supply chain side of things. So Sangram, would you like to share some of your experience on how it's been like for you, and what would you like to answer our audience based on their questions?
Yeah, sure, Prashant. So am I audible?
Yeah, Sangram, you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for arranging such a informative session for new folks who are interested in pursue the career in blockchain. So as correctly said, so before I think 6 months back, so I started exploring the blockchain space, and after having some sort of research and all the things, so I came up to Indian Blockchain Institute. So they guided me in a very well manner. So right now, after finishing my course in the certified blockchain professional, so I have seen a pivotal change in my my own roles and responsibilities that I handle in in the supply chains management. So my organization is pushing me to have sessions on blockchains, and then you can build up a pilot for testing the blockchain network for our organization. And right now, as I complete the course in the Blockchain Institute, so after that, I just interesting and showing interest in further exploring into the space of blockchain. So I felt once I tried exploring the scenario, and my LinkedIn profile that start buzzing. And after that, I got recently I'm working as a content writer in one of the greatest organization in India. And at the same time, I'm working with Indian Blockchain Institute as well. So my point is, if you have a something the feeling that you have to learn something different, so you can go and start exploring blockchain from simple courses. So as I was a supply chain professional, and also I'm continuing to do so. So I found the consulting part is important for me. So after analysis, I chose that, and these guys, Nishad, Prashant, then Nareshji, and all the guys, they supported me, they trained me well. And right now, blockchain has provided me the second earning source as a content writer. So there are something, the I would say it's a pivotal for me as a career option, because it gave me everything, in spite of having my career started in the domain side. So again, if you want to pursue, I would say, I have the ability and the passion to work to big giants of in the blockchain space, so I can work as a the consultant for supply chain application. So what I want to say is, if you have the ability to learn new things, so please go and learn blockchain from Indian Blockchain Institute, because they never leave you because right now, after completion of my program, so they are also right now they are guiding me to get appropriate opportunities, and they are offering me something. If they have something from supply chain, so they are reaching out to me. So my point is, the knowledge would not be waste. You will definitely get something out of it, and it is buzzing time. It's the time as like that was in 1990s for internet. So please hurry up and grab the opportunity. So that was my point. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Sangram. Actually, guys, this was absolutely unplanned, and Sangram just texted me on the chat that he would like to just, share his experience. So I thought, why not? And I'm really glad, because I haven't been interacting with Sangram personally much, but it's really good to see the way it's turning out to be. And our aim with Indian Blockchain Institute is to turn India into a talent hub and a blockchain superpower, because we believe the same, that blockchain could be the revolution as big as internet, because it's purely a data infrastructure, data technology, which is going to have huge impact on industries, businesses, and everything around the internet. And then there are like few more questions from Radha. She wants to know, is it possible to get live projects in blockchain? Yeah. So Radha, what would I suggest you is that you could just go to Indian Blockchain Institute, and we have a placement report. So you would primarily find all list of companies and some few stats and how companies are hiring. So most of the companies like Unilever, Walmart are hiring on the supply chain side. There are projects which Microsoft is doing from the infrastructure perspective. So if you want to build your hands on infrastructure, or you're looking forward to go or work into cloud domain, you could go or opt for Hyperledger administrator or blockchain administrator program. But if your interest is more to work on the supply chain and banking institutions, then you could go with the developer. But if you really want to work on the professional side of things, you have to understand the concept, the use cases, and create your specialization, like how Sangram did. Maybe in the supply chain, maybe in the fintech, banking based on what you really want to pursue. So based on the concluding remarks, I would just leave the floor to Alexandra to add her concluding remarks, and then we would proceed towards the end of this session.
Sure. Thank you so much, Prashant, again, for the opportunity to connect with you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my experience. And what I want to say that, yes, it's hiring, it's booming market right now, is the opportunity to learn, to get, to join courses, to brush up your CV, to put all these relevant keywords on your CV and your LinkedIn profile, and apply for jobs, because there will be either remote opportunities or there will be, full-time opportunities, at least in Eurasia for sure. And what else is important? Yes, to really see what is your personal situation right now, and what, you want this job in blockchain. What problem do you want it to solve? Either, to change a career and have this career as your aspiration, or as a career like additional source of income, and see then how much time do you want to spend on it. And definitely blockchain is a growing industry, and now is the time to do something, to start working on these problems of privacy, etc. And there are other resources, like you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and there are resources on, I see that you guys have this great sort of community and networking opportunity as well. So you can follow me on LinkedIn and see any other resources, like you can apply for jobs on LinkedIn. You can, and you know how to search for jobs. In Hong Kong, there are other job sites like WHub, and also the crypto jobs list. They have all the crypto jobs applications. And I guess it's just, like Prashant mentioned, it's just, being in action, like really getting the skill and then going out there and applying for opportunities. Well, that's all what I guess I want to add. And is that all right, Prashant? Do you want?
Yeah. Thank you so much. And if you want further connect, if any of you would like to always connect, and those who have missed this webinar, we're going to put it across on YouTube. So you could just go there, hop in anytime, share with your friends who are like building their career, or at least if you're just starting up, it's very important for a lot of people just to think about the technological options you're going to have. Like Elon Musk, Jack Ma, all of these big Silicon Valley entrepreneurs have been saying that a lot of 20th century and 21st century jobs are like going to get like absolute. And this because of the massive kind of a shift in the cutting edge technologies which we're going to see. So you should always be updated with not only blockchain as a technology. There are several opportunities in AI, IoT, cloud, DevOps, and a lot of other areas from developing your skills. And why blockchain is being crucial is that we believe is that the blockchain is going to be, it's purely a data infrastructure technology, which is, so you're going to need data to power your AI for machines to take smart decisions. You're going to need AI, you're going to need like data to empower IoT devices to be connected on a secure network and share that copy of data. So there are also several videos on our YouTube channel, which you could just scroll to Indian Blockchain Institute. Again, you can go to our YouTube and you'll see several of the videos where you could just see why blockchain is going to form the backbone for emerging technologies like AI, IoT, cloud, and big data. You could find a lot of information in there. And as always, if you need further more information, you could always reach out to us, guys. So thank you so much, Alexandra. Thank you so much, Sangram, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this morning. And tomorrow is like India's Independence Day. So happy Independence Day to you all, guys, and Jai Hind, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
Happy Independence Day.
Thank you, Prashant. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. So thank you so much, everyone, and Bharat Mata Ki Jai.